you guys are in zone 7A, like me, and you still haven't started your seed, I'm already out of breath. Anyway, if you guys are in zone 7A like me and you've not started your seed yet, I want you to know it's not too late. It's not too late for us. We can still do this. This is a mess. Looking for my seed starting tree. I don't know what happened to these. Timu. Not Timu. Sucks because I really like these. Well, they're tiny, but they weren't good quality. I'll order me some more. I don't know if I'll reorder these or if I'll get some more bigger ones like that from... Sorry, the birds are distracting me. Or if I'll get some bigger ones, because this is what I start my trays, or start my seeds in. The starter tray. This is the trays that I got for when I pop things up. Much bigger, very sturdy. I might get some trays that fit these. But let's get started. I got everything together. Okay, I have the seed trays, water, a container that I like to dump my dirt in, and my seed starting mix. I also have, this is from last year. I have some new seed starting mix from this year that I might need. I got the water because we have to get the seed starting mix wet. Take that back. We got to get it moist, not wet. I do want to stress to everybody that starting seeds is not the end-all be-all, and it's not the only way to start your garden. If you see people say that, you don't need to follow those people, because you don't have to start from seed yourself. You can always buy starts. Plenty of people just buy starts because it is easier. However, I would argue myself that it is not cheaper. It is much cheaper to get quality products and do it yourself every year. But if you're behind, life happens. That's what has happened with me. Life has happened. I have intended on doing this every week, and I have failed to do this every week. So the first thing that we're going to do is dump some dirt in my container. Okay, poured some dirt in here. I don't recommend any specific seed starting mix. The kind that I'm using right now is the Burpee Organic, but I also use the Jiffy kind as well. But when you start your seeds, like I said, it doesn't matter what seed starting mix you use, or even if you don't buy something that's specifically labeled seed starting mix, that's also okay. You can use like coconut coir, peat moss. A lot of people buy the big bags of peat moss. I think I used that some last year because I did get some the year prior on clearance once the season was over. But this is what I'm using. So if you look at it right now, it's loose. So what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to get it to stick together but not be dripping. So I'm going to add some water to this. And this is how I do it every year. I always have a container and I put the dirt in the container and get it wet and fill it up that way, because it is much easier than trying to do it any other way. I guess maybe like putting it in your seed tray and then trying to wet it. I wanted my greenhouse, my other greenhouse, set up outside so that I could start seeds outside this year. I might get that done before the seed starting season is over. I'm in the living room right now, and I made sure to get away from my couch and my new rug so I don't destroy anything. But let's see if we're good. A little bit. Just a little bit more, because this side's not exactly where I want it to be. Now, I'm going to tell you that you should clean your seed trays, because it is possible that stuff can be clung onto here from last year if you have any type of disease that came up. I didn't have any diseases, and I really didn't have an issue with dampening off last year. So I think I'm in the clear. Therefore, I am not going to re-clean mine. If you look at them, they're dirty, but that is just from the rain. So, tray, bottom, there's holes in the bottom, so your bottom water. What I'm probably going to do to make it easier so I don't have to have stuff out constantly is fill up all of the seed trays with dirt, because we have a lot of seeds to start. So it's full. I'm going to pack it down. We'll go for another round. Okay, I have everything packed down. You can see, and it still needs some more dirt. So we're going to go ahead and put some more dirt in it to make sure all of the holes are all the way filled up. This is the last time we should have to do this tray. Exactly like that. Just set it here. We're going to rub it around. Why does it stop working? Okay. I have 9 seed trays full of dirt. Moistened and ready to go. I went through all of the seeds. We have 89 different plants. I have my wife over there cleaning my tags. These are all the tags that I got cleaned the other day. I posted a video about that on TikTok, how I removed the ink and reused my tags, if you want to go watch that. But I got my wife over there removing the ink from the tags, and she is going to help me plant because she is laid up now. If you want to know what's going on, you can check out my TikTok or our Facebook. Got it on there as well. But she's laid up, so she's going to help me plant. So I'm going to have some assistants doing these 89 different plants. I mean, technically, if I'm doing 4 of each, 89. So, yeah. let's get started. I'll show you guys what I do, and we'll go from there. Okay.
What I'm going to go in and do is make the holes. I mentioned earlier that I'm going to do 2 holes per cell and do probably 4 like of each plant. Last year when I did this, I oversowed last year. I had so many extra plants last year that I gave away, let's see, to like four or 5 different people and multiple times, and still had all kinds that just didn't even make it in the ground because I had so many. So I'm trying to avoid doing that this year. However, I am concerned because I was watching someone's video the other day and they said that you should, to be safe, do like 10. This was Ashley. Her channel's called Gardening in Canada. She's a soil scientist, so I do respect her. This is something I'll take into consideration next year for sure. So one of the best tricks that I can give you in doing seed starting and trying to make it as easily as possible, have everything prepared so you can just flow through it. If you haven't seen my seed organizing video, it was the post before this. Go watch that so you know how I set everything up to know when I need to actually sow these seeds. But aside from the seed organization and prep, which helps a ton and helps keep you on track and don't let you really fall behind, also, the prep that I'm doing right now is extremely important. So, making tags is probably one of the most time consuming things during the seed starting process. Like, it's not that hard, obviously, to put a seed in the dirt, right? But you do have to make tags for each one of your plants. And that does actually take time. So, if you're able to, I would suggest doing this before you do your seed starting. I mentioned that my wife is laid up right now, so that is one of the things that she was helping me do, is make tags for everything. So when you go to actually plant, you already have the tag there, you have the seed there, you have everything ready to go, and you can just lay into it. And you can write these tags and do this like in your downtime. If you're just, watching TV or whatever, you can get that done. I'm actually writing tags right now for my next seed starting bunch. But anyway, this is one of the most time consuming processes of seed starting. I would suggest, like I said, to do this separately ahead of time if you're able to do so. And I always do just have, like you can see, I'm using paper clip the tag to the seeds, and if it's a seed packet that has been opened before, then it's going to have a paper clip on it anyway, so my seeds don't go everywhere. You cannot trust the adhesive that is on the seed packets after it's been opened. Word to the wise, okay? You will have seeds everywhere. But anyway, I did want to mention too, preferably for seed starting, the tags that I'm doing right now, the smaller ones, are better. And I actually did go through a lot of my 4-inch tags and cut those down to about 2.5-inch tags, because that is much better for the actual seed starting process. It allows you to be able to get your grow lights very close to your dirt so that you do not have leggy seedlings. The humidity dome and everything with the 4-inch, you can get your humidity dome still over there using the 4-inch tags. That's not the issue. The issue is you're not able to get your lights as close to your seeds if you're using the 4-inch tags. It just makes it so much easier to have the small one. So if you can't get these, I do have these in my link tree though. If you want to just go to my link tree. That way, it's so much easier to find them because I have everything there. But if you click on the description box, go to my link tree. I do have these tags listed in my link tree for Amazon. Anyway, so what I was saying is I would suggest you get smaller ones than the 4 inch. If you get the 4 inch, cut them down. That is what I did this year, and it is much more beneficial that way, because you do want to get those grow lights as close to your soil as possible so that you can prevent legginess. Legginess is not the end of the world in your seedlings, but it's definitely something you want to avoid if you can at all possible. And like I mentioned, this is one of the most time-consuming things of your seed starting process. So if you can tackle that ahead of time, it is perfect. Now, I have mentioned in this video that I am late on starting my seeds. I'm late on posting this video. This video was actually recorded on March the 9th. I'm pretty sure, and I'm just now getting to actually post it. So currently I'm working on my next round of seeds that is going to be from week 5 to week 2. Here on this day I ended up actually doing week 12 to week 6 is what I ended up doing in this round that we're working on in the video. I had a lot going on leading up to seed starting, and that, I mean, it happens. We all have, life happens, right? If you follow my other platforms, Facebook, TikTok, I try to post on Instagram, but Facebook and TikTok is probably where you're going to be able to see me the most. And my dad actually got into a very bad car accident right before this, and he had to have surgery on his back, and there was damage to his spine, and they didn't know if he would be able to walk again. Now all of this did happen like leading up to time for seed starting, and then my wife did have a fall, and she did injure her foot. She sprained her ankle. We're pretty sure she goes back for the follow-up week after next, I think. But yeah, we're pretty sure that it was just a sprain. She is walking and stuff much better now, and my dad is doing his therapy, and he is able to walk some. He can feel his legs now. The feeling is just pain, unfortunately, but he can actually feel them. So, you know, like I said, life just happened. Everything happened all at once, so it made it very hard. And I mean, that's normally how stuff works, right? When we have something going on, it does normally happen in clusters. And what I want everybody to know, and what I've been telling myself, is that you're not a failure. You know, just because you weren't able to meet the goal that you set for yourself, or you weren't able to achieve that goal in said time frame, it doesn't mean that you're a failure. Things do happen, and it can cause you to, you know, be delayed, or maybe not do your best work, or, you know, whatever. But it doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that you've failed. There are always other options. Like I mentioned with the seed starting, you know, I do personally think that if you're planning on gardening in like for the long haul, obviously it does make more sense to get quality seed starting equipment, right? But you know, that's not your only option. That's not the end all be all. There is, if you're in the gardening community on social media, there is a stigma, I guess, toward people that do buy starts and don't do their own seed starting. But honestly, there's no difference. It's not a big deal. The only issue that I have with seed starting in comparison to buying starts is just the variety. You know, one of the fun things about gardening, other than feeding your family, is you are getting to try stuff that you can't try that's just at your regular hometown grocery store, right? A lot of the seeds that you can get access to is different varieties that you've never tried, you've never seen, you've never heard of. And that's one of the best parts about seed starting yourself. But if you need to buy starts, you can absolutely do that. There's enough varieties, especially for basics. You're looking for bell peppers, jalapeno peppers, tomatoes. You want a beefsteak tomato for a slicer. Like, there's options. You can get starts. It's perfectly fine. Right now, my peppers haven't germinated, and I'm going to try to replant them. I think what I'm on right now, week 4. We're at week 4 if you're in zone 7A. Speaking of, our last frost day, I've told you guys several times, it's April the 26th or the 27th. I have looked at our forecast for the rest of April, and we are going to get down in the 30s the week that is our last frost day week. I would suggest that you do not plant out until after May. I probably am not going to do it until May 1st. But here we are. We got everything started, and we got it set up under the grow lights so it can get to growing.